Good morning, afternoon, or evening, Speed Gaming, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the ALTTPR League Invitational Finals. This is it. We've got a great race for you today. Game 4 in a best of 5. Sailor Nep of the Titans Mitts against Andy of PugTrio. Titans Mitts are currently up 2 games to 1. So either Nep clinches this for the Mitts, or Andy forces a take-all game 5. I'm Rossi. I'm here with Radical Sniper 99. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yes, this is going to be a very hype matchup. Probably one of the most interesting modes we can get to kind of set this up for the end, possibly, with swordless mode. So no swords. Hooray! There's a few differences that we will notice, of course, in this mode, and we'll try to point them out as we come upon them. Of course, the big one being that pretty much your main damage dealer that you're looking for is a hammer. And that also applies to our tablets and our medallion type uses as well. So we'll see that as we go along. Of course, the other piece is we will need the silver arrows. I doubt either of our runners really wants to go for silverless Ganon. I am sure both of them have it well within their capabilities to do so, but I don't know about you, Drossi, but I do not want to do that.
Well, and also since there's only one bow and it includes the silvers, that does mean, and we just saw 3 crystals in the light world, so they're gonna need that bow for Eastern.
Yeah.
So that'll give them the silvers right there. And let's see what we can do about this sound issue.
So we do see that our tier 1 tree pull is just green rupees, so no real benefits there. Both runners doing the Uncle Start. We did get that bottle with the green goo out of the Link's house. We're getting 20 rupees off the Uncle and 300 in the Secret Passage chest. So no real weapons yet, but plenty of money to deal with all of our early Kakariko checks. We're now going to head over to Sanctuary, and there's our small key, so we'll see when we actually get into escape, but we do have that small key, so if we don't find a glove, we do have a way towards the back at least.
Yeah, it's interesting that they both have the same idea here. No bombs yet. Andy is trying to set up a tree pull, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for that tier 2, tier 3 level. Not a big deal either way. With that 300, that kind of mitigates any major issues. You know, if we get some bombs off of it, it's nice. 20s aren't bad, I'll be honest, but not like a huge loss for Nep there.
Well, there's our bombs for Nep.
Yeah. And we're also getting the check of the bush crab. So if you've missed the finals up to this point, as we said, this is our 4th game. What brought us to this point was Futon and Sailor Nep faced off in Kaz Boots, with Sailor Nep taking a victory, Solski falling to Relkin in Cross Keys, and then in our recent game 3, Andy was able to beat Dante in a hard Randomizer that forced this game 4. So the way it's going to work is if Nep does win, this will close out the Invitational League with the Titans Mitts taking it, while Andy can force a Game 5 co-op retrance with a win.
And for those of you who didn't see that Game 3, I definitely recommend it. They were very even for much of the game, and it came down to a fire rod hunt in the end.
Yeah, that was a very good matchup for sure. Both runners really, hard decisions to make towards the end of that one.
What do we have in the well today? Mushroom! Fetch quest!
Other than that, really a slow start here. I don't know about you, Drosy, but I've heard a lot of theory crafting about how you anticipate race game in this game. And some people will say if I don't get anything half decent out of Kakariko, I might just consider doing a blind check of race game.
Is the Moon Pearl half decent?
It's okay, but usually I would hope for a weapon or some kind of other progression.
And Nep does do her signature move of freeing the cuckoo there.
And yes, if this comes down to a game 5, the runners are decided. It will be the 4 members not racing today. Nep
Yeah.
and Andy will not be eligible to race in a potential game 5.
But, don't discount Solsky and Futon. They are the reason that this team got out of the second round of the playoffs. That went to a decisive game 5. They were playing against Error 216. Solsky and Futon took down Error and Big Dunka.
Yeah, that's the big thing. PugTrio already does have a little bit of Game 5 experience in this league season, whereas Titans Mitz actually has not had to play in a Game 5, so not to discount the skill of Dante and Relkin for them, but, you know, it's definitely helpful to have kind of been working at it already this season. So Nep is going to give us that fake flipper into the mushroom turn-in. Kind of more of a cross keys play to do this fake flipper. But, you know, I'm anticipating a save scum if this is nothing.
Yeah, especially when you do it like this. But a Sphere 1 mushroom that early probably is something, especially since we really haven't seen that much yet.
Yeah, Andy's going to skip the mushroom turn-in for now. Maybe hope for something a little bit better. And yeah, just bombs for Nep. So yeah, she's going to scum those.
So much for an early mushroom being something.
And of course, one of the last pieces, just to kind of set up a little bit more about this game. This mode is Andy's choice. So technically, PugTrio was the lower seed in this race. So game 3, Dante got the pick, and in this game, Andy has that pick.
Yeah, and Andy's only restriction was he couldn't pick Hard Randomizer again because that's what Dante picked for game 3.
Correct. No, this will not be silverless. As we said earlier, the bow is automatically also silvers in this mode. There are, of course, variations of swordless where you could find a bow, like bow could be progressive still, and you don't find silvers. And then it just becomes a question of, do you want to do silverless hammer Ganon? It is possible, it's just really hard.
Nothing much in Mini Moldorm Cave so far. Another fetch quest. Okay, flute's nice.
Yep, and of course, Andy knowing that going to the rest of the way to Ice Rod Cave is not the quickest way to go about this, so you just leave and activate your flute, and in this case, go dig up whatever's on the shovel. Really tense moment there for Nep, down to her last bomb, but does get the kill.
Yeah, this is unusual routing to activate the flute for Andy, but it makes sense because there's no good flute spot to shovel, so might as well.
Yeah, definitely looking at it as, you know, I want to hit that shovel or that flute activation. I want to hit flute activation and I want to check the shovel. So let's do both.
Yeah, Nep, meanwhile, just skipping the shovel for the moment and going straight to activate the flute.
Yeah, I wonder if she'll hit it afterwards, and that's a minor inefficiency of routing. You know, you think you might dead set yourself on I need to activate my flute and kind of forget about that shovel in the moment.
So the flute doesn't actually get us very much at the moment. In logic, it gets us the one check inside Spec Rock. And how's that for simultaneous activations?
Right, I was gonna say I didn't realize whose audio we had. And yeah, there we go. Nep is gonna finish the rest of the shovel check. Andy is turning in the mushroom, so he likely will not be save scumming it.
Yeah, you don't save scum over a flute activation.
Never.
Taking a moment to regret his decision, but other than that, gotta move on.
So up to this point, not a lot of progression. We've had a few fetch quests, but nothing major. Nep is going to give us that mountain check, whereas Andy is going to give us Ice Rod Cave. Ice Rod Cave, of course, just a little scary getting around these the crabs. They do 2 hearts of damage. Probably the most dangerous Light World enemy.
Yeah, well, Nep hasn't even gotten any additional heart containers. Ooh, Hookshot, okay.
Wow, that's a huge find. That opens up a ton of Death Mountain. That is all of East Death Mountain. So the 7 items in Paradox Cave as well as the Spiral Cave.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to save Andy some time because he'll need to take 1 fewer trip to Death Mountain, but he's going to do some fake flippering first as Nep just finds some arrows on Desert Ledge and is heading to Aegina.
Yeah, and I like this play from Andy. You got the Pearl. I think we had a discussion about this in one of the randomizer discords, actually. You know, when do you decide to do a fake flipper? And one of the big things a lot of people tell you is, if I got Pearl, I do a fake flipper.
Yeah, especially since you also have Zora money.
Yeah, and really anything in the waterfall can help Andy route Death Mountain or any number of other checks.
Ooh, and Nep flutes to 8, but immediately goes to fake flipper, does not check Ice Rod Cave. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's gonna be just a little bit more delay on that check, and unfortunately, it's just such a massive item to get. We are gonna get simultaneous checks of the Zora Waterfall area, though.
I didn't see what was on Lake Hylia Island, but I assume it was nothing.
I believe it was nothing. I think it was money. As we get the blue rang and a 20. There's also quite the discussion in chat here about Thieves Town and requirements of a hammer. Thieves Town cannot require a hammer to complete. It does depend on the small key placement.
It only logically requires the hammer if the small key is in the big chest.
Correct. Our Zora Ledge is just 3 bombs, so we will not be coming back for that.
Well, at least we're getting all our flipper checks out of the way without the flippers.
And just
Love
heart piece off
lessons
of Zora.
for sale.
Yeah.
Nep is really turning up her nose at any sort of junk. Andy's skipping most of it, but he's grabbing some of it.
Yeah, and Andy's going to continue to put off Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, there's escape. We always forget about escape in an open mode.
Yeah, with that hookshot and 8 bombs, I'm sure Andy feels pretty comfortable with this move. Nep, on the other hand, only down to 2 bombs and 50 rupees. She could buy a refill. Maybe her play will be to go and do Sahasrara. After Sahasrara, buy some bombs and then do escape. Because I feel like Ice Rod Cave is just kind of slipping by the longer this goes.
Or maybe she'll do Eastern.
Yeah, I like the Eastern play. That is our bow and our ice rod.
So TR's a pendant, right?
I mean, you're looking at half-decent odds here. Let's be honest.
Well, might as well put in a prediction about it. So, get your prediction in. With that early ice rod, is Turtle Rock a pendant or a crystal? What do you think?
I'm going to say pendant at this point. We did get some nice 2-bomb strats there of that blue key guard in the boomerang chest from Andy, as Nep is in Eastern Palace. This will be a pretty easy dungeon overall. We're still not going to be able to see too much without Lamp or Fire Rod, but I wholly anticipate Nep's going to feel pretty good about this play. The only issue, of course, is still that hook shot, and it's just a nice little advantage for Andy. Not only from, the logic perspective, but movement in general is a lot easier with hookshot.
And Andy, having gotten the key in front here, I think he's going all the way to the back.
Yeah. I think
not in logic without a fire source, but...
Yeah, with hookshot, I think he's going to be like, no, this is fine. I got it. That at least gives you some sight element and some way to, kill off the snakes and the rats.
I'm surprised he's hardly even using the hookshot for echolocation. He just knows where the enemies are and swings out the hookshot at them.
Not only knows where the enemies are, he also was very comfortable in picking up the heart pot.
Yeah.
In that first room. This is what comes with that experience here that both runners have. You have that feeling of how long do I hold a direction to find something.
Okay, bombs and Dark Cross, and we are continuing as expected. You can take the key rat down with the hookshot, right?
Yes. We just gotta hope it doesn't get too far away. This is the big worry here is, where does it go?
Seattle.
And the other strategy we're seeing here, yeah, are we getting Seattle key rat as it's referred to? We might have? No, we didn't.
Now Andy's just trying to take stabs in the dark, literally. He's killed a couple of rats, just not the one with the key.
Yeah. So one of the things we did see from Andy going through that door, though, is quick swapping through the door. A little bit of a lesser known strat, I'd almost say, but if you quick swap through doors, you'll know when you get through the door because the quick swap stops happening. So it's a really neat way if you can't see what you're doing.
And Andy finds the key rat finally right next to the door.
Yeah.
Because he saw his key counter go up to 1 and immediately back to 0.
And we got really nothing out of escape either, so I'm going to be really curious to see where Andy goes now.
Probably the mountain.
And you're right, it is the mountain.
Well, chat was saying Andy doesn't like to do Eastern area without the bow, of course. When the bow's in Eastern area, that doesn't help matters.
Yeah, and we're not really getting a ton of options yet either. I anticipate we're going to find something here on Death Mountain. If we get something off of Armos, it kind of negates Nep's advantage here with the bow. But if our Dark World access is here on the mountain, there's a good chance Andy does not find that bow for a while.
Those early silvers are certainly nice for quick kills. You don't really need to time things the same way. Also, for darkroom navigation, we were focusing on Andy, but kudos to Nep for that room right before the second floor where you have to get the key off the Igor. That is not an easy one either.
Yeah, she definitely... there was a bit of a spam of arrows to kind of see what was going on, but she really got through that nicely, especially only at 3 hearts. Whereas Andy has picked up a few extra heart pieces, Nep has really kind of avoided it. And here's the escape play from Nep.
Well, this will give Andy some time. The question is, I mean, I have to imagine between the flute and the hookshot, there's some sort of progression here. I mean, there basically has to be. This is all that's left in logic, right?
Pretty much. Not just pretty much, it is. I'm gonna guess I think we're about to get a hammer, to be honest, to give us Hera access.
There you go.
There were very few options. I'm not as psychic as I sound. Oh my gosh, and there's a glove.
Dark World access. So yeah, it could be a while before Andy gets that bow, but at the same time, well, it depends when the mirror shows up, because if he makes a pod play and he has the mirror, he'll stop by Saha's at that point and get his bow. If he doesn't have the mirror and makes a pod play, that's trouble.
Yeah, the big thing here is, you know, also how much open do we get from Andy's side? If there's not, like, if mitts are in pot or something, then Andy heads to Palace of Darkness earlier, possibly. But if Andy continues to find progression, like you find Fire Rod, you find Titan's mitts, you find a mirror, you find flippers, it kind of just further puts him off this play. So we do get our first item there in the Hera basement. And the big thing there is it does mean that we might... I think we're going to get a Hera pot either way. And yeah, we are going to get Hera pot for sure.
And to answer chat, there is one bow. I think there's a green 20 replacing the other bow. But yes, there is just one bow to be found. Andy has to go to Saha's closet to get it.
Nicely done on the Hera pot there from Andy. While Nep is skipping the back of escape for now, I think that's just based completely on resources, to be honest.
At least she'll finally get her hookshot.
True. So far, Andy does have one item out of Hera.
So 50-50 on whether the basement, and if it's in the basement, we don't have a fire source to do it.
Yeah, we're completely locked out of the basement right now. But here we go, Hammer Moldorm. First of our bosses that will require at least some kind of... or actually, one of our first bosses that really requires the hammer to even fight.
Yeah, I mean, Moldorm in Swordless hard requires the hammer. And it's in the basement.
That's always the worst.
But at least neither runner has to make that decision now. The only question is, how far in on, like, some crazy hunt do you have to be desperate enough once you get a fire source to go back there?
And Andy, before leaving the mountain, is going to, of course, go through Spiral Cave to finish this loop out. Yeah, I think the one thing that would ever bring you back here is if we get the book. But until then, I don't see this ever being a location Nep or Andy would want to go back to. So we are tied back up at a crystal apiece, at least until Nep decides decides about doing Hera. I can't imagine she skips it though.
Yeah, especially you don't know when you're getting the mirror, so it's a long trek to Hera.
And just a piece of heart out of Spiral Cave, so that finishes up Death Mountain for now.
Oh, we were wrong about Nep. I guess she's hoping she gets the mirror soon.
Oh, I think we're going to get back of escape. Maybe she's...
Oh, with the glove, yeah.
Yeah. Anticipating that she does not have fire is deciding that Hera could be out of logic and it's not worth the time. Of course, we did get the map out of here in the back of Escape, so we will see if Nep decides to go for Dark Cross. And nope. $300 there in Hype Cave, so that's a nice feeling. We get the Mire and the Mitts. Oh wow, there's progression.
Hype Cave back to it, living up to its name finally.
Yeah, there's an old school Hype Cave for sure.
And that probably... Okay, here's our map check. Wow, pendants across the bottom.
Yeah, and red crystals at Pod and Thieves Town.
And ice is our green pendant. So, well, that resolves the prediction.
Yeah, and the fact that Pod and Eastern are both crystals, I don't want to say is really bad, but it doesn't bode well for Andy on possibly heading to Sahasrahla anytime soon. I think what you're really hoping for is that the rods and Samaria and even Bombos Medallion are actually isolated somewhere over in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, something needs to bring Andy in that direction, basically.
And he does get that bottle out of K45. Good play. You know, as comfortable as our runners probably are with this swordless, swordless is very, very hard to kind of get used to, so you kind of want those safeties available. And it doesn't hurt when you have over 500 rupees to begin with.
Nep's probably gonna turn it up knowing Nep. Yep, she's out of there.
So the other interesting piece here is we actually have almost the ability to full clear both of our 5-6 crystal even right now.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I'm guessing Andy's going to return the Smith on his way up. So quite a few checks here.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here to consider is, you know, we're used to seeing something like a hammer dash here. Even if we did get the boots, no hammer dashing without a sword, so you're going to have to do these hammer pegs the slow way.
But I see Nep will probably follow more or less Andy's footsteps. Return the Smith on the way. Can't do Magic Bat. Not gonna do Purple Chest yet. 3 checks in the village and Thieves Town. Hey, Andy's up to 7 hearts now.
Whew.
And mind you, this is not hard mode. There are 2 mail upgrades out there somewhere.
Yeah, we definitely can hit high levels of health and everything else, so.
And I was clearly wrong about the purple chest.
I think with the flute, this is a really convenient and easy play to make.
Bit surprised he didn't walk into the middle of the village of Outcasts before mirroring, because now his portal's a bit out of the way.
Yeah. Don't disagree with you there, but it looks like he's actually looking to get some info, although I'm not sure the value is much given that we don't need Mire.
I mean, he can get into Desert, but we have neither a fire source to complete it, and it might be boots locked as well.
Yeah, this could just be an info quest to decide if I need boots.
So Mire's Ether. Mire Shed's worthless. You know from Nep that there's nothing on Desert Ledge or in Aegina. We can open at least one chest here in Desert, and we'll find out if it's boots locked.
Yeah, we'll also get a look at the torch.
Ooh! We will need that fire rod, so that's actually a good sign that boots will be coming up at some point.
Yep. And Nep did take the route you were talking about earlier, getting into the center of Village of Outcast before doing that mirror. So for her, this is probably a return now to VOO.
Yeah, now what would be crazy is if the boots are here in Desert. This next chest has to be the big key, but then we'll see if something's in the big chest. Because that fire rod is locking 2 dungeons, 2 crystal dungeons.
Yeah, I think if we have to talk about some rude possibilities here, I think the rudest would be boots in Turtle Rock somewhere.
How about boots in Thieves Town?
Even better. Ignore what I suggested even.
So that does give Nep an advantage. I have to imagine Andy goes to Thieves Town after this, but it is a few minutes that Nep has the boots and Andy doesn't. It also means she'll probably be... Well, she will be able to do Desert in one trip because the fire rod will let her complete it.
Well, that is an interesting find there with our book over in Checkerboard Cave. Unfortunately, we've kind of isolated our tablets.
Yeah. And as far as PED, there's really not much that could be on PED. Basically, the TR medallion, if it's not Ether.
Yeah? And that was a really nice dash up the hellway there. Unfortunately, without a sword, it's really hard to kind of to get through. Yeah, we're definitely going to get to see, the question of how comfortable our runners are with this swordless, as Nep working through Thieves Town. She is going to be facing blind soon.
And Andy's probably going to have slight regrets about not doing Thieves Town immediately, but not a huge loss. And as I think most members of the community know, Andy with the boots is a scary thing.
Yeah, I think the big mitigation there, of course, is the early hookshot, means there's less scenarios where it works out better. Although I say that knowing we have, of course, the pod ledge clip or something like that, so... So yeah, for Andy at this point, I think we're going to get, obviously, the Thieves Town clear, same as Nep, but then he can directly just go straight to Desert and get that fire rod and then probably hit Skull Woods, whereas Nep might check the front of Skull, not knowing that where our fire rod is.
Right, and that would basically cancel out the fact that Andy's double dipping Desert.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if, if we find a lamp soon, Nep might even skip... Well, no, lamp will send her to Desert probably as well. But even if she doesn't get Lamp, she still could be tempted to hit Palace of Darkness before Desert Area. Tough to say, though.
So I'm just thinking, we're 2 items from no mode. We just need Samaria and the TR medallion.
Do we really need Samaria? Can't we hover Turtle Rock?
With these runners, anything's possible, right?
Right. I mean, we are in the finals of the Invitational League. We are going to get those boots checks here from Sailor Nep, starting with Bonk Rocks. Then we'll probably get Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. I guess we're not going to get Bumper Ledge?
Maybe not, unless she goes for it on the way back or something.
And I am neglectful in the fact that we kind of overlooked the fact that Nep had a good blind fight and got through it, no problem.
Yeah, which is a bit harder when you don't have a sword.
Yeah, there's this thing called a blind script, and we can't do it.
Sorry, I just take the blind fight for granted from runners at this level. I forgot that this is swordless, so even at this level, it's non-trivial.
Yeah. Oh, there's that Ether Medallion.
Can get us into Mire. And with that Fire Rod, we can do everything in Mire except for Vitreous, and I don't really want to think about that.
I don't think anybody wants to. 2 items for Mire is not exactly appealing. And Nep is heading back up the mountain.
Well, now she can do Hera easily and combine that with Dark Death Mountain, and also check the Turtle Rock medallion while she's at it, because if that's Ether, that's certainly good knowledge.
The only unfortunate part for Nep, of course, is no book and no fire.
Right, so if there's something on Ether, well, I mean, the only things we'd care about on Ether are either Samaria or TR medallion, right?
Pretty much. I mean, maybe you want a lamp. But yeah, not a... You know, the advantages we kind of talked about for Nep on some of these plays are kind of, you know, she's probably going to have to double dip if they're required now.
So I think Andy does go to Desert, as you were suggesting, and get that Fire Rod.
I don't see how you skip the Fire Rod now, knowing where it is, and then making an immediate play back to Skullwoods.
And TR is a vanilla Quake today, so both medallion requirements are vanilla.
Boo. I wanted unique medallions today.
Which means that Ether is kind of a, okay, key under the doormat.
Yep, and Andy heading back to Desert, so he's going to go get his Fire Rod, and I assume we're going to see a Landmolus kill soon after that. But if we find a Cane of Samaria here in Hookshot Cave, that does mean a single dip for Andy to do this area. The only problem is it just opens up more of the world to keep him away from Sahasrahla, which now is kind of scarier because that's also where his Ice Rod is.
I'm worried about a vanilla Hookshot, personally.
We have
vanilla Samaria.
Oh, yes. You're not wrong there.
Misspoke. Because we did get that Ether.
And yes, as Chad is so ready to point out, Pedestal is dead.
And welcome to those of you rating from Scottish Braves channel. If you're just getting here, this is Game 4 in the best of 5 finals of the Invitational League.
Yeah, we're currently have the Titans mitts up 2-1, looking for a win from Sailor Nep to clinch the championship, whereas Andy is looking to force that Game 5. Date and time still to be determined. We just know that it would be a co-op retrance between Dante and Relkin for Titans mitts, while it would be Stolsky and Futon for PugTrio. But here we go, Andy against Landmolus. Very nice
Perfect.
one cycle, yeah.
I mean, he had exactly enough magic to do that if he didn't miss a shot.
Yeah, clean fight.
So that's Andy's third crystal, and this will be Nep's third crystal, so we're really pacing each other on the crystal count.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, for the early part of this race, the inequity in items kind of came down to that hookshot versus the bow find, with Andy getting hookshot out of Ice Rod Cave and Nep getting the bow out of Sahasrah's closet. And the thing is that that's kind of biting Andy more than that hookshot location, because the hookshot was just so required for everything else in the seed.
Yeah, considering it locked our Dark World access.
Exactly. But for now, Andy is heading into Skull Woods.
I'm a bit surprised he's doing the front first.
I'm familiar with this strategy. I've seen it done. The idea is that if you're gonna not come back to the front, like I think he might be thinking Moth and then save or flute away rather than North Dark World.
I see. I hope those flippers don't lead him astray.
I have to believe that, I don't know, this is me as a runner thinking, like, one of the things I might consider is, you know, knowing that all the flipper lock stuff is technically pendants, I might just say I don't care. I'd rather dive Eastern and pod without a bow. But that's not guaranteed. Like, that could just be, you know, a guess that is completely based in no logic.
So Nep's now in a place that will help her. You were thinking she might dive Skull Woods without the Fire Rod. I don't think that's happening.
Yep. So that will be the single dip of Desert.
Yeah, so this Desert play will put Nep a Cane of Samaria from Go mode.
Yeah, and the thing is that Fire Rod will send Nep, I would assume, to, you know, we're going to get the quick Skull Woods clear, and then probably after that we would see a play to pod, because Fire Rod makes pod just all that much more digestible as a play.
Yeah, and then the question is, when does Andy go to Pod Eastern area? Because if he does it after this, he should be in fine shape and the runners will be very even.
Yeah. Andy will have some routing convenience in Eastern that Nep did not have. Just with that hook shot and, you know, boots. Eastern's definitely a dungeon that benefits from both of those items. And here we go, Hammer Moth.
Yeah, Andy didn't even want the full magic jar that dropped to maybe do some Fire Rod straps. Just going for the hammer.
Unfortunately, the Moth is not playing kind here, really staying up on those spikes. And Andy is just saying, nope, Fire Rod, goodbye.
That does it.
Yep. And that's the thing, like, Fire Rod, while not always going to deal damage depending on Moth's position over those spikes, what you can do is use that Fire Rod to knock the Moth away from the spikes and kind of control the position battle. And whereas we saw that nice Fire Rod strat from Andy against Slanmo, Nep, she's got silver arrows, and she says, yeah, watch me do this. Nice zero cycle as well.
And Andy checking Ped because he doesn't know about Bow or Mire medallion, and it's just a heart container. I mean, TR medallion.
And Andy is heading up the mountain.
Is he gonna check Hera basement?
I might consider doing at least Ether Tablet to East or to Dark Death Mountain checks if I was in his position, and that looks like what we're going to see here. So I like this play. At least giving us Ether Tablet. I don't think we're going to...
Oh!
I was about to say, Nep,
okay, I was going to say, wait a minute, Nep, are you really turning down the book? I mean, that would have been something if Nep was going to gamble so hard. I'm not going to take 5 seconds in Checkerboard Cave, just even on the risk that one of the tablets has Samaria.
Right.
So Andy is leaving Hera basement for the moment.
Yeah, and we'll see if he decides to head back into it or head back to it after these Dark Death Mountain checks. Meanwhile, Nep heading into Palace of Darkness, paying off the extortionist known as Kiki the Monkey.
So Andy is leaving.
Well, he has to do Super Bunny first.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah, he did.
I forgot he's doing them in the reverse order.
Yeah.
Actually, this is probably a bigger sign that he's going to save and quit here.
Yep, you're right. He's gone. We'll see where he's heading next.
I mean, if it's anything other than a flute to 5, Nep has a decided advantage. Flute. Are we doing Ice Palace?
Looks like we're going to get ice.
Ooh, boy. Well, it paid off for Andy in Game 3, that's for sure.
And, you know, this is an understandable play. It's a clearable green pendant. Probably feels pretty good about it. Although, is this... I was going to say, is this a second guessing? No, he is still heading in. I was going to say maybe he had a mismark of his tracker, but doesn't appear so.
And let's get a quick prediction in chat about is there a pendant dungeon we were gonna have to dip? Is Samaria in a pendant dungeon?
Yeah, and we'll probably have an answer to that one. I think we'll have that pretty soon with this play in through Palace of Darkness.
I mean, there's still some overworld checks after this, just not many.
True.
Bombo, Spike Cave, what else even?
Bumper Ledge. I don't think we saw it.
No one ever did check that.
And of course, Quakefish.
Oh yes, everyone's favorite.
Yep.
Oh, and Magic Bat, if we get powder, of course, we first need an invincibility item for Spike Cave to be enlarged. Oh, and Hera Basement. Hera is a crystal dungeon, so if it is in Hera Basement... Andy getting that hover second try.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you're looking for when does Andy go to Sahasrahla, the fact that he's clearing green pendant now indicates there's a high likelihood his next play is Sahasrahla.
Oh yeah, chat reminding us that Nep will have Pyramid Fairy access after this.
Oh yeah. Drowsy, we do have an important question. Inquiring minds want to know, does Saha/Green Pendant count as a pendant location because you had to get it out of a pendant dungeon?
No, nor does if we get powder out of a pendant dungeon and it's on Magic Bat. Well, there's Bombos, interesting. Wonder if that takes Nep to ice if she can't find Samaria otherwise.
Well, and for Nap, I think her next play might be Skull Woods. Continue clearing crystals.
Oh, right. Forgot that she didn't have that yet. Did Nep just entirely skip the back of pod?
Yes.
Well then.
Wow, okay.
She's making a serious gamble on Skull Woods.
Well, I don't know if this is necessarily a gamble. So, hear me out on this one. Nep's an amazing runner, so I hope this isn't the case. But I can personally attest to the idea that I've gone and done Helma and forgot about the back of Swamp Palace or a pod existing. So, it happens to the best of us.
I mean... Assuming Andy goes to the Eastern Palace area soon, this race is going to be entirely decided on by who gets Samaria first.
And yes, Andy did get all the items out of Ice Palace, so for him, this was, just go take down Cold Stare. And very nicely done with a combination of Fire Rod and Hammer strats.
And there's our green pendant.
So as we said, I think at this point you're right. We're probably going to see Andy head over to Sahasrahla, turn in that green pendant, find out if we even needed ice.
Right. So this will get him his 5th and 6th crystals. Obviously, Nep is about to get her 6th now, so she'll have a considerable lead, but she's skipped more. Andy's definitely been more thorough, including that green pendant, but I also have to imagine he'll do the back of pod.
Well, that raises the question of, where does Nep go after this? Because if this was a conscious skip of the back of pod, if it was an unconscious skip of pod, I don't know. Where's the density for her right now? And that was an amazing Moth fight. Moth really cooperating nicely there, staying away from the top spikes.
And Andy now joins Nep being on the Samaria hunt.
Yeah, and we are at 6 crystals to 4 in favor of Nep. Just a question of where's Nep going? Swamp Palace? Or Pyramid Fairy?
Probably. Given how she's been playing, I'd guess Pyramid Fairy. I can't see her wanting to dip Swamp right now. Oh. Okay, yeah. We haven't even seen the pyramid ledge.
True.
Yeah, and chat saying if it isn't in the pyramid or on the ledge, she'll probably continue up to catfish. Andy, of course, hovering this, which is a nice time save if you can get it. It's tough, you have to get yourself right in the middle.
Yeah, definitely one of the hardest traditional hovers in the game.
And he gives up on it. And pyramid ledge is junk. And
there it is.
Wow.
There is go mode for Sailor Nep. She has a huge advantage right now.
So we did not need to touch any pendant dungeon.
Yeah, and that gamble from Nep to skip the back of pod really paying dividends here.
We'll have to ask her in the interview if it was even intentional.
Right.
I mean, it is also the case that when you have an opponent like Andy, you have to gamble heavily if you want to have a decent shot of winning. So it might just be that Nep, I mean, and we've seen Nep in general really gamble heavily on this seed.
Yeah, realistically, both runners have really been executing nicely throughout this whole race. Wouldn't even say one has been doing better. They've both had solid boss fights across the board, no issues. This is really just coming down to a route paying off nicer for Sailor Nep on this one. That play into Sahasrahla, it was just massive. So Andy heading towards Helma.
And Nep's freezing up a bit.
Yeah, it looks like she's working through TR, getting that compass chest.
Let's get Andy's sound in the meantime.
Yeah, meanwhile, Andy does take down Helmasaur King. Nice kill.
Of course, now we need to sync up his sound.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy had Arcane of Samaria, so Andy will have to head to Pyramid Fairy, but he is going to give us the back of Pals of Darkness. So, kind of just more time that he's not going to be, having to make up later. And that's all dependent upon if he goes to Pyramid Fairy soon after.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Nep stream's back. I was just starting to check her stream and noticed it was fine, and we've caught up to... or not.
You spoke too soon at the pit there, Drossi. But it does look like we have a nice arrangement for Turtle Rock in this case. We do have the big key. We didn't have to get Lava Island. We will need a key on the laser bridge. Nice working through the dark maze here.
Oh yeah, and since people were asking about the winning team, I think there's something about now putting winning teams' names on a tile in Arguing Brothers' house or something, or from one of the Arguing Brothers.
Now, one of the things to consider here, we are going to have some very low percent Ganons coming up. Hammer Ganon is definitely not an easy fight.
Oh, don't worry, a male upgrade will show up in GT Basement.
You're probably right, but we've definitely had both runners have been just amazing on their swordless executions so far, so it wouldn't surprise me that they continue that trend. But Hammer Ganon is not a gimme. Nep working on the Trinex heads does get rid of both the ice and the fire head. Very nicely done.
Also noteworthy for Ganon that while we do have the silvers, so Phase 4 shouldn't be too bad, we have not found either half magic or the lamp, so we do have to worry about magic conservation. And that's Nep's 7th crystal, which means we have a little game we like to play. Radical Sniper, would you like to explain?
Yeah, there's 22 locations down in Ganon's tower basement that can have that big key. One of them's got to have it. They're all possible, and they're all equally likely. Which one is it? Put a number in chat, and we'll tell you you're great at guessing numbers. I don't know.
And just to get the prediction out in a hurry, we'll do a simple even odd points prediction.
And we do have Nep doing a really nice dash across that bridge there, firing off a silver arrow. She followed it, and that silver arrow killing the Lionel. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that before. Really shows you the level of play we're at.
Hey, look, invincibility with the Can of Burna.
It's something. Clearly, it means Samaria's in Spike Cave, right?
There's there's that half magic you were talking about earlier.
Okay. Makes life easier.
And it looks like we are getting Dark Magician strats here from Nep.
Yeah, that's her usual these days. And there it is at number 7. I guess Andy makes up a little bit of time if he goes Hope Room first, because that was the God Hope Room.
Does look like Andy is going right to Pyramid Fairies, so he will have the Samaria shortly. Just, you know, a whole Turtle Rock behind at this point, as well as, you know, finding that GT Big Key.
And let's shout out VXR441, the first of many people to correctly guess 7.
It's a good number. Now, I don't know if Nep has any safeties, though, is the only question. So this is a dangerous climb. I think the one thing that does help her, in a sense, is, of course, Cannaberna, although that's a rough bonk. I think she still has her Mushroom as well. So Fake Powder is in the cards as well.
But then you have to spend all your magic. But then again, you would generally do it in pre-Moldorm room right before picking up the full magic fill.
Exactly.
So there's Andy's go mode, something like 10 minutes behind.
Yeah, I mean, Andy full cleared Palace of Darkness as well. He actually went back in for those extra checks.
Right, so between Ice Palace and the back of Pod, and getting the boot slightly later, that was probably also a little bit of time.
Yeah, I don't think the boots were a huge
well, the according double dip of desert that Nep got to single dip. And I mean, it did help Nep that she decided to do Desert before Skull Woods. Because she didn't have knowledge of the Fire Rod, so as far as she knew, neither of them were full clearable the first time. So another thing to ask her about in the interview. It doesn't quite get the 0 cycle on those Wizrobes.
Yeah, a little harder to get without a sword to kind of get the last one. And there's that magic drain. So that mushroom really paying off in the end, having it available.
Yeah, it's a nice strat to see. You don't get to see it that often.
Nice burn a dash up through the that last conveyor room. Although I don't think that was intentional.
That's a glitch you don't see too often. I mean, I assume it's the same mechanism as when we see that happen in Swamp, right?
Yeah, I think so. Stairs are fun.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm not sure I've ever seen that stair glitch outside of Swamp. Ooh, and nice swagnet dash against Aga 2 there. A lot of runners and swordless find the bug net easier to use than the hammer.
Yeah, the net dash is a really great maneuver here. Can really make things easier. And down goes Aga 2 for Sailor Nep. So here we go, just one fight left with Ganon.
she Sailor Nep or Sailor Net?
Ha, I see what you did there. And here we go, Hammer and Ganon. It will take 12 hammer strikes for both Phase 1 and Phase 2, 4 strikes for Phase 3, and then of course the 4 silver arrows to finish off Phase 4. Now, during Phase 2 here, one of the important things that you can look for is Nep is going to aim mostly for that arm. Not the trident arm, but the arm opposite of it. That's kind of where your spot is. Unfortunately, Ganon along the bottom row here or along the bottom is almost impossible to really get a lot of good hits in because you're almost always going to be in the fire circle. Oh!
Does she have a fairy?
I don't think
so.
Pick one up.
Nope. Yeah, I seem to remember the bottles were all either green goo or bees.
Yeah, we didn't get any real health.
Doesn't even bother with the fairy, though, before going right back in.
Yeah, especially with the bug net, both of our runners finding the bug net in Turtle Rock. I thought maybe we would have seen a fairy catch or consideration for it, but not going to happen. And yeah, there we go. So once again, Nep using that, just aiming for kind of that right arm of Ganon and just continuing to hit it.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the easiest spot to aim for.
One thing you don't think about is you can't use invincibility items because then you're not on the hammer.
Exactly.
Ganon 2, Nep 0. I mean, Swordless Ganon's tough. Obviously, yep. Nep has a huge buffer. I don't know if she knows she has a huge buffer.
Yeah, and really this, part of this fight just becomes, or what makes this fight a lot more bearable for a lot of runners is the fact that usually in a swordless mode or a swordless race, you almost find stuff leading up to this fight, whether it's mail or hearts. We are at green mail 11 hearts for Sailor Nep here. We just don't have the kind of equipment a lot of runners also get accustomed to in this mode. And Andy cutting it close there on the Trinex fight, but is able to get through. And there we go. Ganon finally giving us a nice spot here, top left corner, and just watch Nep wail away here.
Yeah, just gotta turn on the invincibility when it matters, but I think that should be enough hammer hits or close to it. Yeah, that's Phase 3, okay.
So Andy just about to enter GT as Nep is just about to close out this fight. Was it one more silver?
I think so. Yep.
Yep, there we go.
So get your GGs in for Sailor Nep and get your GGs in for the Titans Mitts as the Season 4 ALTTPR League champions.
And there we go. Sailor Nep crosses the bridge and finishes in first place with an official race time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 5 seconds. Once again, that is the clincher for the Titans Mitts in the ALTTPR League Season 4.
And there's the forfeit from Andy right as he gets his God Hope room.
Yep. Understandable. Great race by both of our runners today. We will see, of course, who we can get in for interviews. Looks like after Andy forfeit, he is still going to at least, run out the rest of the race here on his end.
Looks like we've got our winner, Sailor Nep, in here. GG.
Thanks for the GGs. That was, Can you tell that I didn't practice Swordless at all this season?
Or at least
With
Swordless
regards to-
Ganon.
Yeah, the Ganon fight. I forgot a couple of the subtleties. I kind of wasn't paying attention to where are my safe spots to hit. And,
I mean, you certainly had your Bugnet Aga 2 down.
That I was pleased about it. Fun fact, it actually was from watching Andy, I believe, that I learned that you can dash with the bugnet to keep it constantly active like that.
Yeah, that's always a nice way to just get those very directional pushes of the energy shots.
Yeah, before I used to just kind of flail with it, and it wasn't good.
I know that feeling. I do want to ask real quick, back of pod, was that a conscious gamble?
So I last locationed the Hookshot, at least logically. I guess I could have done Dark Escape, but I was like, it's going to be a glove at Ice Rod Cave, and I'm going to go to the back the slow way for nothing. And then it wasn't, it was the Hookshot, but that made me feel like, okay, and then this seed is shaping up to be a jet unless, like, flippers show up for Pendant Swamp Cane or something. So I was just like, you know what, we still have Game 5 if it's in back of pod. I don't even have lamp. I'm just going for it.
Fair enough.
If it hadn't been on Pyramid Fairy, I was running up to Catfish, and then my next plan was to go straight to Mire since I had that Ether medallion. And if it hadn't been in any of those places, well, then I'm a little sad. It's okay.
Okay. We are also
actually. I did a deep breath before the race started, and I said, whatever happens, I'm just gonna find it in me to laugh about it.
Sounds awesome. We are also now joined by Andy. GG's.
GG, Andy.
So I guess, preliminary thoughts. I realize, this is the end of the season at this point for everybody. But, thoughts about this game in particular?
I was expecting something to give at some point. Everything was really pretty easy, for the most part. I've been burned by Back of Escape without a glove like 3 times in the last week, so I just decided to do it pretty early, for $100 instead. And yeah, I was just at the point where it was like dip crystal dungeons that you can't beat or take a pendant. I decided to do Ice Palace instead because I figured something had to go wrong this seed. And instead it was that decision, I guess. But it was a pretty good seed overall. Like 113 is a crazy time. Like even if I don't do that, I don't know if I win this race. So
Yeah, I mean, well, Nep, it's funny because you're missing the hook shot paid off because you wound up going to Saha's closet in the meantime. And so then you had all that taken care of.
Yeah, I felt happy about the bow, but in counterbalance, when I found the boots, I was like, I could have done Eastern faster. I think that's the thing, is when you're there in the moment, it's really impossible to know what to feel good about and what not sometimes.
Well, what was funny from our perspective is that you found the boots seconds after Andy found the fire rod on Desert Torch. Yeah,
That's
actually, Andy, can you talk about your decision to go to the Mire Desert area there before Thieves?
I didn't know. I hadn't been there yet. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, no other real reason, honestly, other than the fact that I had just done Purple Chest, and so it was gonna be something I did. It was either just flute to go to Thieves Town right there, or check Desert, see if it's boot locked.
Yeah, because Nep did what I was a bit more expecting, left the portal right by Thieves Town, and fluted to return the Purple Chest, and then fluted back to do Thieves. Probably, I mean, obviously wasn't the make or break, but did give a little advantage because it then meant a single dip of Desert, and also having the boots a little longer.
Yeah, I didn't mind it too much. The fire rod info was really nice. Because even with the boots in Thieves Town, I'm not entirely sure. Like, I go straight to desert with that, just because you still don't have a fire source. So, getting the boots basically just told me that I'm going straight to desert after. But
And actually, also, Nep, I wanted to ask you, Desert Before Skull Woods, we were a little surprised. Obviously, that paid out very well for you. You didn't have a fire source to finish either. What were your thoughts in terms of the order you were doing those?
I kind of figured you have Mire Shed, potentially 2 items in desert, depending on the layout, and then Checkerboard Cave. That was enough chances for me to maybe either stumble into fire or stumble into something that lets me go elsewhere. I was liking that over potentially doing the more thorough Skullwoods checks. I also wanted to get medallion info in case I was later finding myself in the mental state of needing that Mire gamble. I was really tempted to just go in right then and there, but I thought better of it. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little desperate, but not that desperate.
Well, when you found Ether, I was thinking, uh-oh, is this gonna be a Mire seed?
Yeah, I was, like I said before, I was planning, if it didn't show up in the Pyramid Fairy path, I was going straight to Mire after that, so I guess it was pretty fortunate for me that it didn't turn out that way. In a broader sense, less specific to the seed, one thing I'd like to say is that it's been a pleasure for 4 seasons now to be playing for the Titans Mids, but in this season in particular, with us adding Rauken, we were just having a lot of fun as a team. We did a lot of acing practices and stuff like that, and would compare notes, and it was really good and enjoyable. But this will be my final season playing on the Titans Mids. Season 5, I have every intention of just being part of the peanut gallery and enjoying watching all the fun.
Well, I remember hearing a rumor that you told Dante that you'd only come out of retirement to play this season if you won the main tournament.
That's true. And a lot of it just has to do with the big time commitment. I'm still going to play ladder races and stuff like that now and again. Maybe smaller tournaments with a smaller time commitment. Just I have other things I'm trying to move on to, and so I wanted to do this as one big last hurrah. And I sure had a lot of fun with it.
Well, we're glad it worked out for you, Andy. Hopefully, you guys in PugTrio had fun making it farther than you have the previous 2 seasons by quite a bit.
yeah, it was fun finally winning a playoff match. Uh, but this season was really fun. It was fun having Solsky on the team this season. Obviously, weighty words was the problem, clearly.
Not like he's ever won a championship at something.
Yeah, nope, not even once. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Futon and Solsky are good friends, so always a blast. A little disappointed that I couldn't force them to play one more chaotic match this season, but
Yeah,
we got to see it once, so it was okay.
I did tell Andy before the race started, I was like, I'm going to give it my best, but I kind of do hope I get to see the Retrons. Maybe we can convince them, we can wrangle them and just get them to play it just for kicks.
That's going to be a tough one, I think.
Probably.
I might have to put some money on the line or something for that to happen.
We do have a quick note in chat from Solsky saying no shot.
Oh, that's such a quick note.
Meanwhile, Dante's still pushing for it.
It's a fun mode. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I tried it. It's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot as well.
Sorry?
No, that was my co-com, Radical Sniper. Did your team get a game 5 at any point? I can't remember.
No, we didn't actually.
Oh, okay.
We practiced. Like I'm sure everybody else did, but never saw one.
Yeah.
Next season, we'll just give everyone the option to play Game 5 first.
So let's see what the collection rate difference was for all that. 119 for Nep and
139 for me.
Oh, 20. Where did all
Wow.
those come from?
I was gonna say we had left side GT checks a little bit for Nep, but the rest of Pod and Ice Palace.
I guess.
they're
I
the
mean,
big
Ice
ones.
Palace is 8 plus the turn-in is 9. And
I skipped the second item in Skullwood, so any chest that would have been on the path to that.
Yeah, I did all of Skullwoods except
Oh,
for the
yeah.
bridge, and I skipped 2 things in Ice Palace because of items. But
And I can't speak for Andy, but I know I'm lazy sometimes and don't pick up little incidental pieces of part early in the seed, even if they're 3 inches away from me.
We definitely did see that early when you were still on 3 hearts for quite a while, so especially that back of Eastern play.
Gotta make up for my picking up the pots, chickens under them somehow.
By the way, Nep, I have to say that silver bow dash across Dark Death Mountain Bridge, hadn't seen that one before. Really neat.
That is a strat that I stole from Gamachu. I saw him do it in an early league race this season. I was like, I gotta remember that. And then I didn't remember it until this race.
Works perfectly for swordless.
Yeah, for swordless, especially with that low health that I had, I was definitely happy to have that in my pocket. And remember it for once, because I never do otherwise.
So, any other thoughts from either of you?
Sorry, Drosy. Couldn't hear you there.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, any other thoughts from either of you?
I guess I'll just leave it at once again, GG's, and thanks again, Rocken and Dante, for being so wonderful to work with this season, and thank you all, everyone on the staff of the league, for just putting in such a large amount of work, because that is... I've never been part of the league staff myself, but I know it's a lot.
You just teamed with them.
That's true. They don't really tell me much about what goes on behind the scenes, just... I at least know that it's a lot of work. But once again, it's been a pleasure. So thanks so much, and with that, I'll bow out. Bye, everybody.
yeah, GG's Nep. Thanks for commentating. And yeah, thanks to all the league behind the scenes stuff. There's a very good reason I relinquished my admin duties like 4 years ago. So I don't wish that on anybody, honestly.
That was before my time. I didn't know you ever had them, other than they got you a odd position on SpeedGaming.
Yeah, I was the last tournament I admin was the 512 person Swiss. That was
that lovely one.
Me and
I've only heard
Willard.
rumors.
Me and Willard had some great late evenings making sure all of the 256 matches a week were inputted correctly.
Oh boy.
But yeah, thanks again, guys. GG's, thanks for watching, everybody. Shout out to Solsky.
And of course, please give both of our runners a follow. They put on an incredible show for us today. And thanks to Captain 1977, our tracker here, and my co-com Radical Sniper 99. And yeah, I guess on behalf of the league admin team, official congratulations to Sailor Nep and Dante and Relkin, Titans Myths Season 4 champs. This wraps things up. What a way to do it, and what an adventure that started almost 4 months ago. I did want to give a huge shout out here to the incomparable Fear Agent, without whom none of this would have ever happened any of these 4 league seasons. He solo adminned the first 2 seasons and then brought the rest of us on season 3 and 4. But really, he's been the driving force behind the league for 4 seasons, and that's by way of saying he has now stepped down going forward. So it's going to be rest of us running season 5 when it comes around. Gonna feel a bit weird, but we're all hugely in debt to him for this undertaking. That said, season 5, can't give you a hard date. We don't know a hard date for it, but probably sometime around a year from now, if I had to guess.
I was gonna say everybody's definitely on the. I feel like we've heard the phrase of rando fatigue or tourney fatigue.
Yeah, I know.
Tossed around quite a bit recently.
I know the main tournament's gonna give, a few months breather here between the end of the league and the start of the main. Last year was only a month or so, I think.
Yes.
This year we're gonna be talking.
Qualifiers for main last year were like right after the end of league season. So
yeah. So here I gather we're talking more like a 3-month break, so that'll push the main tournament well into the summer, and then with like SpeedGaming Live and the holidays, we may just push to the beginning of 2023 for when to start season 5. But there will be a season 5 as long as there are ALTTPR players who want to participate in it.
Yeah, and always remember that, anybody can become just like the runners you saw today, okay? There are plenty of avenues to join into Link to the Past Randomizer and eventually even join something like the League.
Yeah, and we will have a plan next season for not capping registration, so anyone who wants to sign up a team will be able to sign up a team once again.
Yeah,
Really
we had 2 amazing leagues this season. Not only did we have the 32-team Invitational League, we had a 64-team Open League, and we will see some of the teams from there jump into Invitational next season, and it's a whole process, so...
Yeah, like you, after missing an invite this past season by a single game in the playoffs in season 3, are now going to be in the Invitational League in season 5.
Yeah, so, plenty of... It doesn't take forever to get to the level that you're seeing here. It takes work for sure, but, you too can be an invitational runner.
Yeah. And that said, just a few more administrative things. First of all, besides, of course, give the SpeedGaming family of channels a follow, SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 6, but also give the ALTTPR League a follow. We're going to try to do some exhibition matches every so often during the beta, test out potential modes for Season 5, just kind of keep things from totally going quiet around here. Hopefully get some good races for you all on there, and also a way to kind of generate feedback. That said, there will be also, if you're in the League Discord, let's post it here. If you're in the League Discord, coming out shortly in the next few days, we're going to have a couple of feedback forms. One will be your chance to speak your mind on Season 4, what went well, what didn't, what you liked, what we could do better, what modes went well, as well as a second form specifically for proposing modes for Season 5 and why you think we should have them in Season 5. So be on the lookout for both of those coming out in the Discord, and really we love hearing everyone's honest feedback on all this. We are always looking for what we can be doing better, how we can make the next season of League even more exciting. But I think that's covered everything here.
That's the full admin hat.
Yeah, a mere what? 20, 25 minutes after NEP finished. But yeah, thanks again. Of course, to Fear Agent, to my fellow admins who are sticking on, Dante and Relkin and Amarith, to T Sigma and Synac for the amazing bot work they do behind the scenes. The League also wouldn't be possible without everything they've automated for us here, from race room and seed generation to populating the website. And thank you to the nearly 300 runners who participated in the League this season. Biggest season ever. I can't believe I'm saying nearly 300 runners, probably the biggest ALTTPR event since that infamous 512-person Swiss back almost 4 years ago. And also, thank you to our mods, working both behind the scenes and publicly. We admins can't do everything. We absolutely need a good mod team here to help us keep on top of everything. So yeah, shout outs to them. Am I forgetting anyone?
All the volunteers across the season? I don't know.
Yeah, so all our comms and trackers. I haven't done a count, but we've had a ton of both of them. We had a ton of matches restreamed here.
Yeah, as well as the restreamers we had for the ALT.
Right. And yeah, we're really indebted there. Especially, we put on a lot of open league matches there, and also sometimes SpeedGaming was just too busy on weekends to be able to fit in every invitational match. And so when we had, invitational matches that we really still wanted to get streamed, there were always restreamers rising to the occasion at the last minute to make sure those could be shown on the league channels too. Okay, I think I've thanked everyone now.
I think we've covered all of the bases.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. And keep in touch through our Discord. Look out for announcements for the feedback forms and for hopefully some exhibition matches in the coming months. And other than that, we'll see you in Season 5.